So here's another drawing time lapse, this time for the character Little Red from the webcomic The Apple Mage. I'll put a link to everything about the comic itself in the description and all. I came to this drawing pretty blind because I usually kind of like have an idea of like the pose that I want to like do for every drawing before I start. But I didn't really know what to go for this time around, so I kind of just did a very like generic sort of thing. I also didn't think about what outfit to draw the character in, just because I realized that the start of the comic began her with a different clothing design than the references in her website have, so I just chose the one with better colors, even though I wanted to draw like a big cape. I also haven't drawn any characters with that sort of connected eye thing going on, like Sonic or whatever. It definitely would have worked with my previous style, just because it's still like cartoony and all, but it felt like it actually worked out this time. I just feel like her left leg and arm are both like the parts of the drawing that I kind of like messed up with the most, even though it's still not like really that bad. It just felt like the top half of her leg was almost like too long compared to her other leg, and her left arm is almost like too short and weird compared to the other one. It's also not really that big of a deal. For some reason, I really like drawing the underside of heeled shoes and boots and all that. Just feels satisfying to get the shapes right. This drawing also gave me a good excuse to practice drawing wood, since I don't really draw many like normal trees or whatever. I really need to practice getting that right for when I actually draw backgrounds eventually. trying to make the extra jagged parts sort of like thin with the line art, so it just seemed like very like frail and broken off. I also try to keep the outside of the wood very like jagged and strange, so it doesn't look like super solid and cartoony. Even though design is pretty cartoony to begin with, I feel like you always have to do a little bit more detail work, like basic illustrations, especially with my style at least. I'm just more used to it. One thing I really like using that sort of extra line weight near the corners style thing for is like adding like a sort of like really dark shadow underneath things. Like you can see with like the inside of her hood and like underneath her palm with like the on the staff and whatnot. Really seems to work for like adding another like level of shadow right there as well. I wanted to try and keep the sort of like rustic autumn style colors for this drawing, even though I don't usually use colors like that, just because I feel like they always like work out a lot better than what I'd probably plan for. So plus you can obviously adjust them a little bit just to fit everything. It doesn't really matter either way, just all colors can look fine as long as they look good together. I don't usually add shadows to the sclera of the eye. That's because I was like make them look more like bright and like shiny than like realistic, I guess. but this one really worked out. For some reason it made the white, like the pure white, like a little bit tinted as well, which is just a product of using a good shadow color. I feel like I might have put a little bit too much shine on everything in this drawing, even though for like the leaf and her like apple body, those look probably pretty shiny to begin with, but then with like her clothes and stuff, it's probably not as shiny, but it looks fine enough, so. I also tried to blur the highlights of the apple part, just to make it look a little bit more like smooth, I guess. I don't really know how to describe the change, but it looks better. And I also put all the grooves in the wood on a different layer so they didn't mess with the highlights or like with the selection process for like shading and stuff. But even then I still try to like make the shadows like react to it a little bit so it doesn't look like a pure like flat sort of like texture. It's like an actual like full-on like rough sort of appearance, even though it's still pretty smooth. I actually really liked how like the thick, like dark line out turned out, so I didn't actually color in that many of the lines as much as I usually do. That's pretty much it. Of course, I'll have the links to everything in the description that you need to know.